folks. This is the crossover, considered kind of special MLK Day presentation. When this is being recorded, lots of games have happened during the day. Obviously, for a special day and a special moment, and obviously for Dr. Martin Luther King. Obviously, he's had a lot of impact across the world with his message of equality for everyone. So it's just my 2 cents on just it's a great day, especially for people to recollect and stuff like that. But from a sports fan standpoint, just to segue a bit because we are a sports show. It's also fun to see some games on during the day and stuff like that. Just from a purely sports standpoint, obviously on the pure surface of it. In this case, obviously there's a lot more serious things from it, from a standpoint and it's from a standpoint of equality, where we've progressed as people and stuff of that nature, and obviously that message resonates worldwide in this case. So anyhow, man, I'm gonna move into today our discussion today. Ravi, of course, my co-host here. So Ravi, sorry for the long introduction. My apologies to you, sir. What you saying, man?
Hey, it's good, man. Today's a day of goodwill, and for all the Atlanta fans that's saying that we haven't been talking about their team, we're going to give them some goodwill today.
Right. So, Hawks are on the schedule today, man. I mean, I must admit, when I watched the streak starting with Atlanta, and the question is pretty much, you see it there at the bottom of the screen, are the Hawks for real? And when I saw the streak starting up about 2 weeks ago, where I saw it, it's like, okay, they're playing well. They're doing some stuff. I think they drubbed Cleveland a couple times inside there, or they're just starting off, and you saw like, whoa. But then when they went on I think they played a few Western Conference teams. I think they beat Portland, someone else, can't remember. And it's like, okay, they beat the Blazers. And then they came back home, and then, now they see them kind of laying the wood on a few teams. Obviously, they beat the Raptors on Friday. Just dealt with Chicago again, so that's impressive. That back to back. So, what are your thoughts on Atlanta, man? Where you see them stacking up? We're pretty much at the halfway point. Some teams will play 40, some play 41, some play 39, but pretty much essentially the halfway point.
I think the biggest thing that I liked about this streak is the fact, you mentioned one of the signature wins out west was against Portland. Mm-hmm. They beat them 115-107, mm-hmm. So, it wasn't even close. They beat them handily. They had a big win against the Clippers. That was another blowout win. They beat the Grizzlies by like 10 points, I think, too, out west. Yeah, so it's not like they're playing like Minnesota and LA out there. Mm-hmm. They're playing some serious contenders out there, and they're winning handily. And then even with some of the top teams back east, they've taken out Chicago, and they beat Toronto last Friday as well. And both of them they were blowout wins. 110-89 Toronto and 107-99 for Chicago. Yeah. So they're playing well. If you look at their last, in this 13-game win streak, they've led by at least 10 points in each of those games. Yeah. So they're playing well. If you look at Atlanta's offensive system, it's mm-hmm. based on teamwork and passing the ball. Mm-hmm. And that's one thing they've done very, very well, because in that streak, actually since the U.S. Thanksgiving, they're 26-2, and mm-hmm. in that span, they're actually they've assisted, I believe, on 70% of their made baskets. Right. So that just speaks to the unselfishness in which they play.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not sure that they could keep this pace up, but I don't think to answer the question as directly as I can. I think they are for real, because when I look at the team and see the balance they have on the floor, you're looking around, you're picking an all-star team, right? You're probably gonna get 2 from Atlanta. You could take about 4 guys potentially from Atlanta and take any combination of those 4 or 2 of that 4. I don't think you can get more than 2. But yeah, you could pick Korver, you could pick Teague, Millsap, Horford. When you look at the depth they have, man, and even come off the bench, I even like their bench. Schroeder's a nice point guard. He's coming into his own now.
Even if you look at Carroll's playing nice. He's averaging 11 points and 5 boards a game.
He's a good glue guy. I think what Atlanta, with the East right now, with this gap and this vacuum in the East, I think that also plays into it for Atlanta as well too, where they have enough firepower. I think they're just good enough defensively that at least in the East they could really give havoc to some teams. And I think Chicago in my mind. Like as much as everyone likes to play Chicago as the favorite, I
Yeah.
think Chicago in this case is gonna have trouble with the athleticism and speed of Atlanta, and it's showing. And one thing with Atlanta too, let me tell you, folks, man, they got their foot on your neck in this case here. They're gonna snap it, man. They don't care. They're going at you. They embarrass you.
There's no, there's no let up with Atlanta.
No.
There's no let up at all.
They ain't fooling back. They're gonna kind of like let the air out the ball business. They're coming at you hardcore. I watched that game Friday. It was like no mercy. They just kept coming at Toronto left, right, and center waves. It was so bad at one point in the late third, early fourth. Casey was forced to keep some guys up there a little longer as starters just to try to keep it still kind of like decent, or at least try to make it decent. Good God, I think it'll blow it to 40.
Yeah.
So I'd be like, Atlanta's playing fantastic. I think they're a real threat overall. I think they could deal with some teams in the West. I think they really would make life miserable for some teams in the West as well too, man.
Yeah, and I mean, I think going back to the All-Star, should they have an All-Star or two? I think
They're gonna get two.
What was that?
They're gonna get two. Two's a guarantee.
Yeah, exactly. And I think Jeff Teague I think he's been the best player for them this season so far. Like I said earlier, their offense is based on teamwork and passing the ball. He's a catalyst for that out there. He's averaging 17.7 assists so far.
I hear you. I mean, the Teague. If Teague got picked, I wouldn't lose any sleep. I think what might hurt Teague is that there's like 4 billion point guards to pick from. And I think he might lose out on the short stick again because one's coming from Toronto, so he's going to lose one there. One's coming from Washington, so he's going to lose there. And depending how things go, Rose is a wild card, but Rose's numbers are pretty strong right now. He's playing more consistently, so he might lose out there. I think the guy might get in that people might be shocked about. I think Millsap is as good as in. I think he's the likeliest of all of them to get in. But I think the other ones can get in. Strangely enough, people are not talking about is Kyle Korver. That dude's numbers are off the chain. That dude's shooting. He's shooting like 54% from three or something like that. It's like,
well, I mean, you kind of beat me to the punch there because I was gonna say, I mean, it is so nice, it's so refreshing to see the initials KK in the news and have it not be a Kardashian.
Oh, you're waiting for that line for a minute.
I mean, Kyle Korver's been absolutely on fire. I mean, he's on like video game levels right now.
It's 2K stuff going on here with Korver.
He's 51% from the field, 53% from the 3-point line, and 92% from the free throw line.
I think that the fact that aberration is so huge, it's hard to take a man off a thing. Because I can't remember, he's averaging like 16 something a game or something. How much did he have in a game? I can't remember how many.
I don't think it's 16. I don't believe it's 16. No, it could be. I
can't remember how much he
the stats.
But I think he's somewhere in that range. But we'll get on that. But I think he to me is the guy just because the numbers are so gaudy. I would put him there with Millsap. I think the least likeliest of the bunch to go, but he might actually get on just from the fact that there's not enough bigs on the East at the moment. Maybe is Horford. Now we'll see. We'll get into some All-Star discussion in a couple of weeks because I think there's going to be some interesting decisions that have to be made about certain players. But I think right now Atlanta overall, they got a nice system going. They obviously Toronto and to a lesser extent Washington taking, the three of them I think are taking advantage of what's going on in the East. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I find them an entertaining team, just like I find that Toronto and Washington is fun teams to watch. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they're gonna what they have in store for the second half of the season. But right now, folks, ATL is for real. And you folks down in Atlanta, man, get the games, man. Really show up, man.
Exactly. You guys got a good team. Get out there and support that team.
I don't want to hear your saying about whining about nothing. Get out and go to the games, man. Real fun team to watch. They're relentless. They move the ball well, and they're fun to watch. They come in waves, man. So I don't know. That's my 2 cents on it. That's Ravi. You got anything else about the Hawks? Or you good in this case, man?
I am good. I think I think we hit on all points today.
Yeah, because I just checking here. And I'm going to pull it up for you just momentarily. Hang on here. Just checking quickly on our friend Mr. Kyle Korver. Because I'm now curious now what you said. Kyle Korver, here we go. Averaging, guess how much?
14?
Yeah, a little lower. 13.2 right now.
Oh, okay.
That's a tough, that might hurt my argument. A man's averaging 13 a game, even though the numbers are crazy. It might hurt my argument. So I went to relent on my pick of Korver. It might end up being Teague, man. But
Jeff Teague for All-Star. JT Money. We want to see him in there.
Oh man, Teague in the All-Star game. Who knows, man? But that's what it is. ATL right now is rolling. Hot Atlanta's going strong right now. And it's a nice story considering how the season started for Atlanta. Obviously, what's going on with the front office and all that with the ownership. It's funny how these guys need to play better when the team's actually having these type of things with the Clippers. Who knows how much they might go for when it's all said and done now. So we'll see. Money talks. Anyhow, on that note, Ravi, where can the good folks find you, man?
You guys can find me at Mr. Ravi_Porvita.
Okay, and you can find me at Beyond Locker Room, short form RM, man. All right, folks, take care, and we'll see you next week. Happy MLK Day, guys.
Happy MLK Day.
Later.